If you want to see me use the Naked Cherry palette for the first time, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and yes, we are going to play with the Naked Cherry palette today, and I'm holding it a little bit weird because I don't want to blind you with the ring light, but here is what the palette looks like. And I went back, see if I can show you this way, okay, and I went back and looked at my swatches video. If you want to reference it as well, I will put it right there, and took a look at all the colors as I swatched them, because I think swatches look very different than what the eyeshadows look like in the pen, and I'm glad I did, because I think I have a pretty decent idea of what I want to use. And really what I'm interested in using are these two down here, the requisite brow bone, and then these two down here. So we have Feels and I'm also going to use Privacy, which is the matte at the very end. So Feels and Privacy and Hotspot as my three mattes. So brow bone, outer corner, and kind of in the crease. And then Bang Bang and Young Love, possibly Drunk Dial, as my shimmers / dual chromes. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. And I'm only going to use the Urban Decay brush that came with the palette. Now I say only when it comes to liner. If I decide to use powder, one of the shadows here as liner, I will be using a liner brush. But as far as the regular shadow application, I am sure that this brush is going to be just fine. So that's what we are going to use. I'm going to go right into Feels as the first color, and we're going to dig right in. So I'm putting quite a bit on the brush, and I'm going to tap off the excess, and we're going to go right into the crease. And I'm just going to use the mirror. Sorry, there you go, I blind you. I'm going to just use the mirror of the palette. And hopefully, yeah, good, I'm not covering my face with the mirror, which happens once in a blue moon. I always go into the inner lid. Gosh, that's pretty. Feels is very pretty. Just loading it on the lid and into the crease. Just as my overall, not quite overall, but most of the lid color. And I did set my eye, as I usually do, with just light concealer and set with Wheat from the Smashbox Matte Exposure palette, which I understand is a palette that does not exist anymore, but it's just a basic creamy light beige color, nothing fancy. Any of those shadows would do as a matte color to just set the primer. I'm just using it because I'm trying to use it up. There's no other reason. And I think I'm just going to, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to extend that matte onto the outer lower lash line, and that again is Feels, and it looks a lot more peach, which is why I like doing swatches. It looks a lot more peach than it is in the pan. In the pan it looks more like, almost like a dusty rose. And on the eye, that is not what it looks like. Okay, so that is one color done, and I think it looks pretty good. Okay, we are going to go and deepen up the eye now, and I'm going to go into Privacy, which is the one on the very end here. And I'm going to, what am I going to use for Privacy? I think I'm going to use the same brush, side I should say, and tapping off, because it is a matte, it's going to give me fallout if I don't tap it off. Going into the outer lid and into the crease. And a big part of why I wanted to do the video today is because I don't know for how much longer, but it is on for half off at Urban Decay Canada and Urban Decay US. So if you have been wanting this palette, and it makes sense for you to get it, because not all of us are in the same situation these days. Not that we ever are in the same situation always. I just wanted to let you know, because it makes 50% off, makes a big difference. To be honest, I only buy my Urban Decay palettes when they're 50% off. And I did get this, it was around Valentine's Day, I think. Usually Urban Decay palettes, after a year and a half, right at the year and a half mark, that's when they go on for half off. That's what I've noticed anyway. Of course, just for a short period of time, but they do go on for half off. Okay, and I just, without even talking to you about it, I brought privacy down to the lower lid. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to just add a tiny bit more. Okay, and I'm going to take another brush and just clean off here, and I don't have a clean brush anymore, so I'm going to grab a different brush. And this is just a basic Sephora brush. It doesn't even have, just says Sephora on it. Oh, there we go. It's the 21 Multitasker Concealer Brush, which I'm using just to clean up eyeshadow. So there you go. There's a stated purpose for a brush, but meh, you do it what you want. It doesn't have to be exact. The exact use intended. Okay, I think that looks all right. And so we've done all the basic stuff. I think we can do brow bone, but I'm going to wipe this off. Okay, and I'm going to use this one actually to do brow bone, and I'm going to go into Hotspot, which is the very, very lightest color in the palette, to do brow bone. Just a tiny bit. This is not the typical brush I would use for brow bone, but it will have to do, because we're trying to just use this brush, so that's all right. I think brushes in these palettes get poo-pooed, but they're really quite usable. I don't have an issue with them. Do that, and then just spread it a little bit more with the bigger side. Okay, so there's our brow bone. And now I want to use these shadows. So I think, I keep thinking Drunk Dial and Young Love, but I want Big Bang too, or Bang Bang, pardon me, too. I think I'm going to do Drunk Dial on the very, very outer lid, this one toward the center lid, and then finish with Bang Bang on the inner to center lid. That's what I'm going to do. And I am a big fan of finger for these types of shadows, so that's what I'm going to do. So I've got Drunk Dial on my finger. I'm going to use it right here. Speaking of finger application, I have somebody recently on this channel called me out on being okay with getting a challenge. And there's a challenge coming up on this channel. And I think it's going to be fun for a lot of us to participate in. So I'm just going to leave it at that as a mystery. And you can decide to join in or not when the time comes. Okay, so that is quite pretty. It's going to soften up right here. That looks really nice. Okay, so we have this one done. It's such a pretty color. So that was Drunk Dial. Now we're going to go into Young Love, which is the one right next to it. So this is Young Love. Oh, so pretty. Okay, and that's going to go on the center lid. Just going to do kind of an ombre effect. Ombre, which means shadow. Just brightens up. It's like Drunk Dial's brighter sister. Super. Again, that's such a pretty color. All right, and then we're going to go into Bang Bang on the inner to center lid, and I'm going to start off bang bang with this brush so I can get kind of right in the corner, and then I'm going to move to my finger afterwards. Okay, so I've got just a little bit on the brush. I'm going to go right to the inner lid. I'm going to sweep it up right in the crease. Have some control. Okay, and now I'm going to actually use my pinky to get in here. Don't know if the light's going to let you see it. It has, it's like a peach pink duochrome. And it just looks so much better when it's applied with the finger. Or as I understand it, wetting a brush can make that kind of a difference as well, but it's not something I typically do. Okay, and I think that the other one, Young Love, got a little bit lost, so I'm going to go just back into Young Love one more time to just bring it back on. So I think that fuchsia metallic is really, really pretty. Okay. So that is the look, and the only thing that I talked about wanting to do maybe is liner with this palette, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Privacy with a liner brush on the, I think I'm going to do bottom and upper lash line. I think it's going to work on both, so let me just find that liner brush. This is the brush I prefer to use as a liner brush, and it's my tiny precision smudger from Smashbox. Going back into Privacy, just grabbing a little bit on the brush, and let's go in. And the side where I have the shadow is on the upper side, not below, so I don't have the liner go too far down. And now on the upper lash line. I wasn't a big fan before of using powder as liner, but boy have I come around. It's just this spot on the eye. I don't know if you struggle with it too, just that one spot on the eye. I'm not super careful, it just goes wacky on me. I have two lashes stuck together. Okay. I think that's quite pretty. And I'm not going to add more because I tend to start tearing up if I add too much powder around my eye. And I'm going to call that side done. And I'm going to speed up the application on that side with a little music, and we'll see you before I finish up the look with anything else. Okay, I think that the eyeshadow is done and I'm ready to add the last little bits, but I don't think I need to do a whole lot more. I think I need to do mascara, put setting spray on. I don't... should I change the lip color? Yeah, maybe I'll change the lip color. I have Kiss Kiss Bang Bang right now, but I think I'm going to put on Slow Burn by another lipstick from Marc Jacobs. So I will be right back, having done my mascara and also changed my lipstick. So I'll be right back. All right, I am back and this is the final look. Let's address the elephant in the room. I am not wearing Slow Burn. I am wearing a gloss, which is the Shameless Glow 210, a Pure Color Envy gloss by Estee Lauder. I looked high and low in the house. I must have spent 10 minutes at least looking through all my jackets, my pants, the kitchen, the 2 bathrooms, everywhere. I do not know what happened to my Marc Jacobs Slow Burn, and I'm really upset because it's one of my favorites and I can't find it. So that's my problem, not yours. But I put this one on instead, and I know I was wearing Slow Burn last night, and I wonder if it fell out of my pocket during our walk. I don't know. Such is life. It's a deluxe sample. I would just really like to find it. All right, moving on. My eyes. I did reapply the Urban Decay Zero on my upper waterline, and that's it. That's the only liner I have on my eyes other than the shadow liner from the Naked Cherry palette. And that liner is, what's the name again? Privacy. So I have that on my upper and lower lashes, but you saw me apply that. And then finally for mascara, I have the Sumptuous Extreme Mascara by Estee Lauder. So I'm using a couple of Estee Lauder products today. And here is the wand if you have not seen it before. So this is a first impressions video. Now, I did say in the swatches video, I was not going to be surprised if this Naked Cherry palette, that I liked it, because it's all tones that bring out green eyes. And I think you'll agree that it does help them stand out. Now for the shadows that I used, let me say the following. I'll just get rid of the brush. The mattes in Urban Decay palettes, hopefully you can see the colors. The mattes in the Urban Decay palettes tend to be quite dry. So you have to be okay with a dry matte. I personally don't have an issue with that. What I will say is really neat with this palette, and we did see it with the 3 colors I used on my lid, is, hopefully you were able to see, that Drunk Dial, Young Love, and Bang Bang, they're beautiful duochromes. They're beautiful. I think they meld into one another if you want to use more than one. And they're very pretty, to the point where I think you could do one matte in the crease, one duochrome on the lid, and be done. It could be just a 2 shadow look and you're out the door, but with them looking really good. So I think this is a very, despite what it might look like, I think this is a very approachable palette. And it does definitely give me vibes of the Modern Renaissance, but with a twist, which is those duochromes. So I think that fundamentally it is different from the Anastasia equivalent. So I'm really happy with it, and I think I like it more, just from a first impressions take. I think I like it more than the Naked Heat. You know what, let me take the Naked Heat out and also take out the Naked 3, which I think is a sister palette to this one, just to take a look. And I conveniently have them behind me, so it was pretty quick. So let's just take a look at Naked Cherry and Naked Heat. Just as a reminder, I'm sure you've seen these comparisons before. So a lot of similar, very light neutrals, virtually the same. And then for the rest, a few deep shadows, but the Naked Cherry definitely organized things differently, and I would say that the Naked Cherry has more when it comes to the kind of rich duochrome side of things. But I don't mind the Naked Heat. I'm just not as big into warm looks as cool and berry looks, so it's not getting as much love as it could, but I'm still happy to have it in my collection. And it has a very different brush. It has a flatter big end, and the Naked Cherry has more of a cylindrical, larger fluffy end. And let's do Naked 3 as a comparison. So this is the kind of flat brush that's in the Heat. It's also in the Naked 3. And so here's the comparison with these two. Trying to find the best way with the light to show you without blinding you. Okay. And so the Naked 3 is more of the romantic rose side, and then the Naked Cherry is more of the, offers you more of a sultry, deeper, smoky cherry look than the Naked 3, although the Naked 3 does have those two shades on the bottom that do allow you to do kind of a deep smoky eye. Yeah, so I think they're different, but I do think that these two are complementary. I really think that if I want to have a lot of options, I would probably take these two out and use them together. So final thoughts on this palette. I like the brush. I don't have a problem with the brush. I could see myself, if I decide to take this palette on the go, I would be okay with just using this brush. And I would just need to bring either an eyeliner or a liner brush to be able to do what I did on the lower and upper lash line. Nothing more to say. I'll turn it over to you. What do you think of the look? What do you think of the palette? Are you interested in it? Do you have it? Let us know in the comments. The more we share our thoughts and opinions on various types of makeup, the better purchasing decisions and decluttering decisions we can make. And also we can help each other out by saying, hey, this shadow works really well with this one. It's always good to have a conversation. So that's it for this first impressions. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, as I said, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.